Don't wait until it's too late. Don't wait until it's too late. Bad stuff might be happening. Might be having some food shortages. The dollar might collapse. Who knows how bad it's going to be? A lot of people are saying it's going to be really bad, worse than the Great Depression. So don't wait until the last minute. I know there's a lot of procrastinators out there. Wait until Sunday night to get their homework done. But this is not the time to procrastinate. Because if you procrastinate this time, it may be too late. I know there's a lot of people out there who don't believe anything bad is going to happen. They believe what they say on the news. And what I say to you is, you're brainwashed. I'm not brainwashed, you're brainwashed. No, you're brainwashed. No, you're brainwashed. No, you're brainwashed. And they say, how am I brainwashed? And I say, because you just sit there and watch the news all day. And that's what they do. They brainwash you. Because your prefrontal cortex gets shut off when you watch anything. And that allows them to subliminally trick you into believing everything you hear. It's manipulation. It's brainwashing. So you're brainwashed. And before any changes can be made, you have to realize you're brainwashed and wake up. And they say, well, you're brainwashed by the computer because all you do is watch the computer, and you're brainwashed because you listen to everything that the computer says. These people on the computer. And I say, well, the people I listen to have everything to lose. They lose their reputation, their livelihood, their licenses. To tell the truth, the people you listen to are making millions of dollars by getting you to believe that everything's okay. And they still don't believe me. They say, well, that doesn't matter. And so I say, okay, you know how I can tell you that you're brainwashed and I'm not? How? Well, by the fact that I'm willing to change my mind. If you can bring me concrete evidence and use logic and show me why I'm wrong and why you're right, logically, then I'm willing to change my mind. But there's nothing I can say or do that will change your mind. That is brainwashed. When you're not willing to change your mind, no matter what evidence, no matter what logic, no matter if it's happening in front of your face, you still won't change your mind, that is brainwashing. That's the difference. And I'm willing to change my mind. Okay? And there's a lot of people out there who you could give them evidence, you could use all the logic in the world, you can show it to them in front of their face, it happening, and they still won't believe it. That is brainwashing. So before you can move on, you need to realize that you're brainwashed, and you need to change that fact. And you need to be open to maybe, someone else is telling the truth and you're being lied to, like that it's actually a possibility. Like, because it's always a possibility that you're being lied to. Okay, there's always a possibility. But if you're not even open to thinking that there could be a possibility, then I'm just speaking to the wind here. Because that's a brainwash that will never change no matter what I say or do. Until they're sitting in the slums because they didn't listen. They're hungry or whatever. Even probably then, the TV will blame it on something else, and they'll believe that. They won't even believe the actual truth. But anyway, the whole point is, don't wait until the last minute to prepare. So first, recognize that there's a possibility that you're being lied to. Second, if something is going to happen, which a lot of people, professionals included, doctorates included, baccalaureates included, very intelligent people included, instructors and professors included, are saying that it's going to be a lot worse than people think. So something more than likely going to happen. If you look at the red flags, all the money that's been printed in the past 2 years, 80% of the money in circulation has been printed in the past 2 years. That devalues the dollar. The more money they print out, the less it's worth. That's why inflation is going crazy. That's another red flag. Inflation is going crazy. Gas prices, food prices, shortages. All this stuff happening, and brainwashed people will not consider that they're being lied to, even though it's happening right in front of their face. Okay? A person who's not brainwashed would consider that they're being lied to, would consider that all this stuff that's happening was created that way. Okay? So don't wait till it's too late. Go out there, get a little bit extra food. You saw what happened with the toilet paper shortage. People were going crazy. People were buying the whole store, wouldn't even leave one roll for anybody else. Imagine if there's no food. Okay? So go. Every time you go, get a little more than you need and store it. But do the rotation. When you buy something new, rotate the old to the front. That way, if nothing happens for a long time, your stuff has been rotating and it's going to be fresh. You're not just storing it and then, say a year passes and then all of a sudden now you have all this old food that you can't use. So be smart about it too. But there's a lot of red flags that are saying that something is going to happen. Turn on the news. Turn off the news. Find alternate sources of information. Because there are a lot of alternate sources of information out there that don't have a vested interest in keeping you dumb, keeping you ignorant, keeping you in the dark about what's really going on, keeping you distracted, keeping you thinking that people like me are brainwashed, even though I'm willing to change my mind if you could prove something to me, if you could use logic instead of insults. But you can't use logic, right? That's why you insult, because you can't use logic. You can't beat my argument, so you use insults, or you ignore, or you walk away. But a person who is not brainwashed wouldn't do any of those things. They would take what people like me say into consideration and say, let me look at both sides. Okay? It's better to have too much and not need it than not enough and need it. Where have you heard that before? Probably your grandparents. Why? Because your grandparents probably lived through the Depression, probably lived through hard times. And they know what it's like. We take all this stuff for granted. Water at the flip of a switch or the turn of a handle, water. We've had that our whole lives. We take it for granted. We don't know what it's like not having that. Food, go to the grocery store. It's always there. We take it for granted. Believe me, if you didn't have any water, if you turned the knob and no water came out, what would you do? That's what happened in Texas, and people were freaking out. They didn't know what to do. Some people say a lot of people are going to starve. But we take things for granted. And we don't worry about it until it's too late. So don't wait until it's too late. Don't take things for granted, and be open to considering other points of view besides what you hear on the news, because that means you're not brainwashed.